Right, hello and welcome back to Mzansi. Guys, nisixolele, we are late.
Very
Xolele ngithe ngihamba endleleni ngathorana nenkinga kanza kwethu. Things happened. So I'm here now and I also had to fix some of the things here. I had to look at why we are now being kicked out. I tried to look at that. It took a bit of time. Yes, so I'm hoping that we are gonna be fine for time being, Emily.
Yeah, apologies, guys.
Apologies, but we could not.
Very
we wanted
sorry.
to give up, but we saw that you guys were calling us, saying, "Hey, you guys,
live.
yeah." And
We are
then
here
also
now.
during the day, thank you very much for the shout outs that you're giving us.
Oh, I saw the chat like going, especially after the long adjournment. People were like, after they mentioned Miss Popola's situation.
Yeah.
Then our fan was just like, Mr. Anonymous Gamsaba. That's reality. That's
No,
reality. That's reality.
I'm not sure if the person who's supposed to get the memo has got the memo.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. And I'm hoping that she did get the memo.
We tried to tell her.
We tried.
We did.
Indeed.
We were very subliminal about it, and then we said it, and then we grew louder and louder. But I attend my interview.
Yes.
Never.
So, Emil, what happened?
Okay, so do I start from the beginning?
Yeah, start from the beginning.
Proceedings started with Advocate Nisi for accused number 3 telling the court that accused number 3 and 5 are experiencing challenges with the application to be removed from solitary confinement. He said that he indicated yesterday that the lawyer who will be dealing with the solitary confinement application would have requested for them to come and see them today. So she did the consultation, but apparently they are picking up a lot of problems with regards to the facilitation of that process. And Mnisi said that the information would not be so crisp if it came from his mouth. So he asked that the legal representative in that matter address the court. Yeah,
guys, I'm just sorry to disturb you, Emil. Can anyone type or on a chat? I just want to see if everything is working fine. Just want to see that anyone who can just type anything on the chat. Because
if you are awake,
yes,
please say something. Because
I see there is about 82 people.
But we're not seeing anything.
We're not seeing anything
popping
on the chat. So let me start afresh. Chat.
Okay, I'll continue as long as you're live. Okay. Well, she confirmed her appointment for accused number 3 and number 5 for the urgent application, and she said that she wished to convey the difficulty that she was currently experiencing, like obtaining instructions and finalizing the urgent application that's due to be heard next week. So she said that, so it's interesting that the application is to be heard next week and she only has like 2 days to consult, provided that she's not allowed to go to the prison to consult over the weekend. Ooh, what a tight schedule. She said that they had been assured by the respondents, DCS, this is the Department of Correctional Services.
Yes.
In this matter, that they will facilitate and accommodate consultations with accused number 3 and number 5. And she said that she had not received that accommodation as promised. She said that she contacted them this morning requesting the police to accommodate them to consult after the court proceedings. And she said that she had voluminous proceedings and she even lifted them up. It's a huge bunch of papers which they must converse with the accused before court. And she said that she had been informed that should she wish to hand over those documents to the accused, it should be perused by the DCS officials and then only would it be handed to the accused before court. She said that her submission was that it's an infringement of client and attorney privilege and she refuses to subject her clients to that.
So Thabo Bester was actually right.
He was. uThabo bekaqinisile, guys. uThabo was not over exaggerating. It was difficult for me to take him serious, but he was right. It looks like consultations with lawyers over there at Koshimampuru is a mammoth task. It's looking like they look through your stuff. They look at everything. Not that there's anything wrong with it,
There
but
is something wrong with the next thing. You find the whole defense is sitting with the person that you're gonna be fighting against in court.
you know what doesn't make sense is that they are the respondents in this matter. They are the ones being sued, but they want to see the inside of the details of the case that is against them.
Yes.
That's just
Basically,
weird.
that's what they want to do. That's
That
what
is
they want to
weird.
do. Yeah. So now, so they think a lawyer can actually craft
Breach. Yeah, now it's overlapping with the lawyers, because you'd think that because they have a lawyer and the lawyer is the one handing the papers, everything should be fine. No, they are thinking that the lawyer is a scam as well, or the lawyer might
can actually draft the way out of this prison. Yeah.
and then they just look at the book and disappear, poof, and they're out of
Yeah.
I don't understand what the strategy is, but it's very disturbing. I remember watching these documentaries about the times. I don't know if I should mention the word apartheid. So there was a time I watched some documentary and they were saying about, I don't know whether it was a conspiracy theory or if it actually happened,
Yes.
where they were saying that whenever they would receive letters there at Robben Island, in particular Nelson Mandela, he would receive letters and they would read the details of the letters. They would open the letters and read the letters. Some went to as far as, paraphrasing or taking and copying Winnie Mandela's handwriting.
Yeah.
Some people would make people divorce, with their wives. They would go to those extremes to make them psychologically unwell by just fabricating the handwriting of their loved ones and then telling them whatever.
What they do not need to hear.
You understand what
That
I'm
I'm
saying?
continuing with my life outside here.
They would do such things during those times. So now I'm like, this is so invasive. At the same time, I'm like, this person, Kulmane lawyer, I mean, why would you want to now peruse their court proceedings and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. It's too invasive. It's too much.
Well, people who were practicing during those times, there are still some of them practicing. I mean, a case in particular is this, the church now is here,
And
for
then
example.
you hear people becoming so resistant whenever the topic of how some of the laws need to change and adapt with the times. People become upset and they're like, no, change the law. How can you change the law? The law is unchangeable. Or, it's like some of the things really need to be looked at, because we adopted the very same laws. They didn't change. They didn't accommodate now and the times that we are living in now. They still reflect some of the things that happened during that time. And that time, we all know that the law was drafted in such a way that people like us would be looked at as guilty before they even open their mouth to defend themselves.
Yes. Lindy Webeb, thank you very much. Bem, thank you very much. For we are late and you're saying we must try more. We're trying. We're doing that. Thank you very much.
I see,
May God bless you.
guys. I had never seen Mr. Anonymous fight the way that he was fighting. Now I was giving up.
Yeah. Tell them. You were saying we
I
are
was
going.
like,
Let's
tomorrow, I ain't this thing is not getting fixed. But he was like, I'm a fighting. He was like a soldier today. I was like, yo, but we made it, guys, and I'm so happy we did, because we needed to talk about that whole situation. But before we get there, let me finish up on what that lawyer was saying, because at Mzansi Reality, we have to get all the facts right. We don't want to find ourselves being accused of being conspiracy theorists. we try and stay away from that. We work with the facts.
Yeah.
Yes. So she said that she had not done any alternative, or she hadn't found any alternative to accommodate the request to stand down, and she was asking for the proceedings to stand down to enable her to obtain instructions from her clients pertaining to urgent applications to ensure compliance with the practice directives of the urgent court. So the judge asked which officials said that they must have sight of those documents first before she gives them to her clients, and she looked for him. I saw her looking as if, but I assumed she didn't know this person by name. So this person already in court was telling her that they will look at the documents that she's giving to her clients once they enter the cells. So DCS is going to look through, not only look through them, peruse them, as in like read the contents that are inside.
Yes.
So now I was expecting maybe they were gonna check if there's nothing that has been slitted inside that shouldn't be there. When you test for a book, white data and stuff.
Like
I thought that maybe like a razor or something, looking for surveillance for such things. But to actually find that they wanna read the contents. Some officials came to the address the court, and he said that what he said was if they were going to take the documents back to the center, this is the official informing the judge, they were handing over to CMEX, then they check the documents so they can have them in the cell. So the judge asked him which documents he was referring to, and the official confirmed that it's the one that the council had. So the judge asked him what the problem was, and the official said that usually in CMEX they check documents coming from court. So coming from court, they check those documents before they can have them in the cell.
I'm sure it's not the law that is written down.
I doubt.
And you just blundered by saying it out loud.
Hi. Isn't this in Zagala DCS, guys? Ziyathusa sometimes. I'm like, yo. So you guys want to read. These people are compiling a case against you, and you want to read their case. You want to know how they are going to sue you. So the judge said that he does not think that was necessary. Even the Judge Ratam Khwatling today was like, I don't think that's necessary. And the judge asked who do they call, because he wanted to talk to the head of the prison, and it was apparently Mr. Tebengu. Well, the judge asked the official to call him and let him know that the judge is the one. He said, I'm the one saying that those documents must be handed over to the client because it's attorney-client privilege, and they can see the documents when they are served on the correctional services, not before, because it's the law. You can't have people that are suing you and you are seeing how they are going to sue you before you even go to court. So the judge asked the official to call him, and they did not show the official's face, the cameras. They respected their privacy. The lawyer for accused said that she asked to address another experience that they had with DCS. She said that they will not be frustrated in the consultation process that they are experiencing extreme difficulty to consult and obtain instructions. This reminded me of Thabo Bester. The Thabo Bester situation.
Yes.
I thought maybe Unehaba and stuff, but Thabo was right. Thabo
Sizwe,
was right.
thank you very much. May God bless you. May God increase you. Thank you very much.
These are the exact conditions that Thabo Bester was complaining about. They don't allow him to consult with his lawyer. It's a hostile situation. Even the lawyers were complaining. Now it's happening here in this situation with these accused. So every time you sue DCS, they're just going to make life very... But even Thabo is not suing DCS, is he? Or is the case of the laptop? The laptop situation. Oh, so she said that they bended backwards to ensure that they can consult with their clients in this regard. And she asked that after hours not to intrude on the court's time and the witness present themselves before court. And she said that they are very adamant that they will not consult after 4 o'clock. So even after 4 o'clock, DCS was like, no. They refuse, because she was willing to even consult with them after they're done with the proceedings for the Senzo Meyiwa trial. So she requested the indulgence to consult with them on the weekend, and she said that she's still awaiting a response. Okay, the judge said so they are not working on weekends, and she said that she further asked that if the weekend is not available, then after the proceedings that are done in court, and they will knock off at 4. And she said that they told her that no one will be available at that time. So the accused were given 3 hours to consult with their lawyers for this application. Court adjourned until 2 o'clock, Yeah, and it would have been nice to also know who handles such matters as to why they can't consult with their lawyers. I mean, who's directly responsible for the blockage? Who came up with the law and the rule?
What if he was in court? I'm just joking.
It would have been interesting to know who this person or
what if they're in court? I'm just joking, man.
I mean, you find situations where a convicted people
fighting the
also
enemies. The enemies are next to you. Yeah.
Other prisoners appeal their cases. So you're telling me that this is what they're subjected to when they appeal, maybe. The appeal process, that whenever they have to consult with lawyers, they are told your lawyer can't come in on weekends. Your lawyer can't come in past 4 o'clock. I have a family member who was arrested, and they told me that, and he was in that specific prison. They told me that they sleep, I think, at around, did he say 4? 4 in the afternoon. They're told that they go to bed. I don't know how true that is. Then they wake them up at 5 in the morning. But I was like, that is too early for anybody to go to bed.
No, man, that's fine. Well, you're not at home. That is fine. That I'm fine with.
Why the
It's
sun
not
is
like they're
still
not
up?
saying...
I'm like, yo.
That is fine. That is within their line.
So
to show
maybe
you
that's
this
why
is
they're
not
refusing with this 4 p.m. situation. They're like, no, everybody would have knocked off. So you're telling me you can't use that time at least for a consultation to squeeze it in, Yana, with your lawyers. It's not like it's a family visit, because there's hours for that, for family visits and stuff. But with your lawyer,
There's a way they can work around these things. They're just being difficult. Like with an ID, like, I mean... We can try to sugarcoat it, but it is what it is. They're being difficult.
Well, after the long adjournment, the judge started with the fact that tomorrow the correctional services gentlemen should make the same arrangements, that the clients who were launching an application should be brought around 9 a.m. in the morning, okay? And he ordered that they be brought around that time tomorrow in the morning. So court resumed with Ramasipili now explaining the issue of his objection. Remember yesterday?
Boy, I was happy. It's like we was listening when I said, hey, don't back off.
Raise that objection. Raise it. It's important. You were not wrong, Mr. Ramasipili. You were right to object. And your objection, oh boy, your objection, has done wonders.
Opens can of worms.
It has done wonders. It has done things that I never thought were possible. But it's very interesting. So he was explaining the issue of his objection around khumalo and Senzo's phone. He raised the objection when the current witness said that all the phones were accounted for at the clinic's tower. This is what Brigadier Kininda said yesterday. And Advocate Baloyi was like, yes, I'm putting my head on a chopping block, my lord, as he was counter-arguing the objection. That all the phones of the people that were in the house were at the clinic's tower. Although we had a caller yesterday who had a different argument, but we're going to use that argument when we analyze at a later stage. So he referred the court to the transcripts of the 19th of July 2023, and he read the part where Zandi said, when we looked around just to see where the other phones were, my mother recalled that she was busy charging the phone on top of the stove and it was still there. So her mother's phone was in the kitchen. So with regards to the phone of the deceased, Ramsipili read the part where Zandi said, we recovered Senzo's phone right there underneath the stove. And that's in reference to when they returned from the hospital. So he said that he is well aware of what the cell phone expert said, that the cell phone records say otherwise. Well, not entirely in my opinion. There were no Section 205s that were presented in that court of everyone who was in the house. Your Tumelo Madlala, your Mamaga Kelly, their Section 205s were not presented in court. So even though the cell phone expert said otherwise, but he said it was for two people, Kelly and Longwe.
Yeah.
And Zandi, I think, I'm not sure. But yeah. Kelly and Longwe were the main focus when it came to those Section 205s and the location of their cell phones at the hospital. So it wasn't for everybody in the house. So Advocate Baloyi said that they are aware of the evidence and that they will address the court at the end of the case as part of some perhaps other motives at play in this matter. And I'm like, hey,
are you hearing, Zandi? Hello? Are you there? Are you hearing? We've been telling you.
Other motives.
We told you. We told everyone. I think Zandi is still on the Dululu land.
I'm sorry.
He just snap out of that thing. Snap out of that thing. Let me tell you this. There is a reason why some of these Section 205s were not submitted or are ignored if they are there. There's a reason for that. Because right now, you sound like you have lied. I'm not going to say you have lied, but you sound like you have lied. And the funny thing is that just people that you were praising so much as people who are really working around the clock, right? And we told you. You are being played. That's why you had to be almost the first one to come and testify. I was listening to your testimony. A bit of arrogancy when Mnis was cross-examining you. There was that resistance a bit, in my opinion. But it's okay, Wenazan. Let me just spell it out for you.
Spell it
How
out.
these things happen.
Spell it out.
In a sense, we might say, in my opinion, you probably went on and sold your sister. That's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. And at some point, I thought maybe you had a deal, right? It felt like that. But then I realized, you are in a dark room looking for a needle. I just realized, no, man, this one does not see what is going on. Because it was clear as the morning sun that you are being played.
She didn't get it.
You didn't get it, man. It was clear that you are being played. That's why you had to be on top of the list of people that had to come there. And right after you finished, they dropped your sister as a witness.
Right after she finished testifying, they said that her sister was no longer going to be appearing as a witness.
They dropped your sister. So this is how this thing is happening now. You are probably that family is probably all going to get jail time if these people go down. That Spaza House family. But what is not going to happen is that the people that were there with them are not going to get any jail time. So the question is, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? That's why I'm saying, if you see the heading there, I'm saying, Kelly's time is the defense time. That's it. If she passes on that, it's done. If she passes on that, it's done. She's the only person who can bail them out. right now, it's back to Kelly's hand, unfortunately, like always.
And I remember when we deliberated on Zandi's testimony. I think we should go back, because I remember sharing. Why does it feel like she's throwing her sister under the bus?
It
Do you
did
guys
feel like
remember
that. It did feel like that. The questions that were put there, they made it look like that. And for some couple of minutes and hours, I was thinking maybe. But then I was like, nah, this one is in a dark. This
She
one does
doesn't
not
know
see.
what's going on.
When they dropped the sister, right there, if it was me, I could have held the meeting with my sister. Hey, what is going on? Why are you being dropped now?
And then I recall how on that recent interview that she's done, she was complaining about how Advocate Mshololo is flying every day or whatever. How she got that information, I don't know. Even if it's true or she's just
That means she was
gossiping, I
flying
don't know.
too.
I also recall the time when she was testifying where she said she will not be able to sleep in Gauteng. She said that. She
No, there's
said
no
that,
calling of Zandi back when I says that. They're not gonna call her. How can you throw someone under the bus and call them back?
they're not gonna call
They're
her.
not gonna call
She was
Zandi.
a tool
She was being used,
for a bigger,
in my opinion,
plan.
and she served the plan. And the problem
served
is
it
that
very well.
she did not see.
She wasn't seeing what was going
She
on.
did not see.
It was lights out.
But I heard those questions when they were saying there was a communication with this person. Do you remember extorting money and all that? And I was like, no. Papa, this thing is going back to them. How was that phone opened? How, it was all good. That person had called me at some point also asking for, I think, do you remember that part? I'm just crazy.
Yes.
It
I
was
remember
all
that part.
it was all to
Where
connect
she was
the
like, she
net.
was getting threats.
Yeah.
Somebody called them after the incident and was demanding money from her sister.
Exactly.
Zandi.
And now, you see what is happening. You see what is happening now.
The wheels are turning. Litini kwela.
And she was probably briefed. I mean, you prepare for these things. Good, don't worry. The phone that we were going to say, this was the phone that was calling, asking for money and doing all this. Right? Now, your sister is almost under the bus. And you are almost going down too, because that means you lie on that record.
Under oath.
Under oath, you lied. That's basically what Baloyi was saying. There are other motives.
He said.
So that means you were protecting your sister. And let me tell you what. Because you talk too much, you have a lot of airtime. You have exactly done that. How so? You have went to these medias talking about Mondays. So that means you are shifting. In a sense, that's how it looks like. You are shifting your sister from Wamsireleta, from the problems, Matata, Matambazikwe. You are now shifting the focus to Mondays, and you thought it was a plan. And I can tell you, probably it's something that at some point was talked about, maybe, allegedly, maybe. It was talked about at some point. It was good when it was talked about. And you saw it. So I'm going to run with this. I'm the campaign specialist for this one.
There were whispers. There were whispers.
Now.
Mandisa, and you just took them and
now.
ran with them.
And recently, I saw in one of your interviews, again doing the very same thing. Now you are saying they chased Katie. There's even a bit of change of the story now. They chased Katie to that. That's a problem right there. That's a problem right there. There is inconsistency in some of the stories that you go around telling. So that means you are protecting your sister. That is the story that is probably going to come to you. I'm not saying that, but I'm thinking that is what is coming to your door.
Other motives at play in this matter.
You see, those are other motives at play. Those are other motives at play. And the problem is that your airtime is done. As far as that court is concerned,
No, you're not going to be recalled.
insofar as that court is concerned, my lord, your airtime is done.
No, you're no longer needed.
Boom Togo have collaborated your story. Bo Tumi have collaborated your story. In so far as your time, in so far as your airtime, it's done in that court. So now, yayazi lento le yokubosha izandla bese beyakushaya ngempama. Usabathe bayawushaya ngempama. Manje there's nothing you can do. The only thing that is left for you is a podcast and mainstream media. I'm sure they are tired of you. They got what they wanted by now. They've advertised your song. Manje sesishaya ikhwela ke sithi. So kushayela ikhwela ke sis manje. In all honesty, sesikushayela ikhwela manje. But one might even go as far as to argue that maybe the reason why you probably accepted in being with Tembo, maybe
she knew
maybe
it was coming.
Something was saying something is coming. You know, I mean, I'm just
prepare. Let me not leave my family. Not in
a limbo. Let me just maybe. Oh, maybe
I'm not gonna fight this situation of another wife. No,
because
I will accept it with
all
grace.
Honest, what in the hell is going on? Because right now, I'm not sure if you are watching the very same court that I'm watching, and I did say this long time ago. But eventually, this is going to. We started by saying it was initially according to that plan. You remember? We had a feeling this was going to Mandisas the way the testimonies were coming and the way everything was if you listen to the Afro Forum guy and it was seemingly going to that
in that direction. Yes.
But it changed. I don't know where and what happened. In my opinion, it changed, and then it went back to the sender. You know what, back to the sender. So now you are in this situation. The question is, you are only left with one person, and that person is relying on a defense to call them. If your sister is called by the defense, and if your sister persists with the theory that you were persisting with, then that means all of you, by default, are going down. Your sister as a mastermind,
like
you protecting your sister and lying under oath.
The state is now ringing them all into 636, because we all know 375 is a no-go area for them.
Obvious, 375 does the same thing to them.
And if they manage to successfully ring them all in for perjury or something, or defeating I don't know. That means 375. They cannot be double charged. They cannot be charged.
But either way, what was going to happen to 375? It's the same thing that's going to happen to 636 insofar as
it seems
the Khumalo family is concerned.
It seems like the game or the plan is changing into becoming.
The only thing 375 is targeting a certain person as a person who shot, maybe.
Yes.
And then that person would, if the tables were turned, play the role that the five accused are playing. Right? So that's the only thing. So what did you gain? Nothing.
All of the drama, the theatrics, the contradictions.
Even on the cross-examination by me, he's saying, when I said we've been taken, let me tell you something. You see what is going to be even more fun? Insofar as this evidence is concerned, and insofar as what Baloyi is saying. Is it the lie detector test was the results are not out, right? What if they come back? Sorry to laugh at this. I was thinking during the day. What if they come back and say you lied?
Sure.
Insofar as the 636 is concerned. and solidifies the case.
Aye.
But well, Rata Khwatleng is still gonna be briefed by Baloyi insofar as your matter is concerned. But we are just here speculating.
We're speculating
where this is going, and I'm not gonna hide this. There's no need to hide this. Either way.
Miss Popola.
Yeah, I heard her. I was listening to her. She was talking about we have been taken to lie detector test. She's even putting it on record. So the time that the lie detector test, my lord, we decided to bring the lie detector test as Miss Zandile khumalo at some point mentioned it. It did come back, my lord. We were waiting for this opportune to present it to court. He is an expert that is going to be presenting on behalf of the state. We're just going to hand it over, my lord, to the defense. Then you see a color lento you expect it here. The first one, it shows that she's not lying. She was asked a simple question. This one and this one.
The heart rate.
I'm just trying to I'm just trying to make it clear how these things happen, because sometimes it's easy when you are there and you are showing a bit of arrogancy and all that. It is easy and it's nice, but some of these things, they come back to bite you. Right now, I think this is where we are at. They say each on its own.
Each man, you know what she was failing to understand, or maybe she still is failing to understand, or maybe she thinks she knows more than everyone else. It's every man for himself now.
Right now, whatever plan that we had, it's abandoned the mission.
Mission abort. I need to look out for what is mine. Okay. There are people who have careers to protect. People who have characters that they've worked very hard for many years to maintain. They need to be protected.
So Ramsipi just opened a can of worm, but maybe earlier for you. It's better.
It's better
than late.
Because
the surprise. The surprise.
It seems like you
that comes with
be very shocked at the end of the trial.
The surprise that comes with the motives at play. Insofar as the evidence is concerned. So we don't know.
The state is
if
at
I
the
was
end of
if I
its
was
case.
next to her, I would say stop talking. As much as it is late, but stop talking, because it is not helping. Even there, you were describing what you meant when you say, "Hey, they are fishing in the same pond. They are fishing in the same pond."
And that interview is on record, by the way.
Even in court, you were asked about it. You was asked about it. She said she explained. Nisi asked her. And just what I meant. I meant that we've been tortured. We've been taken. Our phones were taken. Lie detector tests were taken, and all those things. That's what I meant. And you go around, you go out to make more noise in terms of talking about Mondays. So basically, the motive could be that you were protecting your sister using someone that you probably, both of you and your sister, hated in any case, because your sister was sharing a man with her. So the presentation of this is gonna even look more good. They don't even need to justify. They don't need to justify why you had a motive. Your motive now, you are speaking it, you are pronouncing it. All that they need to prove is that you lied. And right now, it's one tick in a sense.
They're compiling all of the inconsistencies.
If you had a phone number of Baloyi, I would call her. What do you mean by?
You mean call him?
Him.
Yeah.
What do you mean by other motives at play? What did you mean there?
Does if he'll answer your call? Does if he'll answer it right now? Because you've served your purpose in that.
mangabe sisonke teamini phela we need to ask ukuthi phela hayibo where is this going?
Well,
What do you mean? What other motives?
At play.
At
other
play.
motives.
What do you mean?
Yes.
But well, we're done with you. Olendlebe Magezwe. Let's continue.
So the judge asked if he was not taken by surprise, asking Baloyi. Baloyi said, no, we are
Did you hear that?
perfectly aware of that, my lord.
This is under control.
Everything is under control. He said he confirmed that it was a point that they were going to argue.
This is under control. They even had arguments for it. You're prepared. Only you were not prepared.
I go be Miss Popola. I don't know what you're going to do because go be.
They are even rubbishing that theory that you had of three bullets.
Yes, they cancelled it. Okay, the lead investigator is saying 2 shots were fired. When I went to hi, there were 3. Baubuza futhi cross-examination. Are you sure you heard 3 shots? I heard 3 shots. 3. And then now the lead investigator has decided to.
And it's easy now to debunk you. You're not credible. That's what they're going to say.
And you're the only one who spoke about 3 shots. And in saying.
Yeah, in saying. Insofar as this evidence is concerned.
So yes, the court proceedings continued with the interpreter interpreting Insimbi Ehlanyisa all over, the tool that makes the gents go crazy, and he said that the gents that are street smart. So Baloyi continued with an entry on Gininda's diary on the 27th of July 2020 in relation to the booking out of the firearm and handing it over to Lieutenant Colonel Mangena. So Advocate Baloyi said you referred to a entry on the 27th of July 2020, and Gininda said that's it. And you testified that this is the entry that was made when the firearm was handed over to Mangena. And Gininda said, correct. The relevant entry reads as follows. He read it out into the record, booked out, sealed, and not tempered, handed over to Mangena. So Gininda said that this copy formed part of his statement, which is in the docket, and the judge asked him to read the rest of the notation on the diary. There was a section there called NB. When you see NB, you are thinking most important, right? So the judge wanted it to be read into the record, and he said that Gininda said that it says the exhibit on the above entry will be utilized an exhibit as and when the trial starts under Foslora 63610 of 2014. The time was 22:50, and the judge asked him whose handwriting it was. Gininda said that the top was his handwriting, and the last one was also his writing. The middle one is that of his colleague, Sergeant Mohola, who was with him. And he said that he was the one who was doing the exhibit, and then asked her to make the entry for Colonel Mangena. But he was there. Yes. Yes.
I get you.
And umkhula uyabhala ngathi umkhula ubhala kakhulu.
Ugude ekubhaleni.
Yeah, ngathi umbhali.
Even translating the Zulu part maybe.
Yeah, ngathi she's gifted in the writing department. So the signature was that of Colonel Mangena on that diary. So Baloyi then said if we turn to the exhibit, he introduced the exhibit FF, GG, HH, and JJ. He said he testified that as a result of the information and the names contained in these documents, the confession by accused number 1 to Lieutenant Lieutenant Colonel Mboto on the 30th of May 2020. Then there was Exhibit GG1, which was the pointings out by accused number 1 to Lieutenant Colonel Hadeb on the 5th of June 2020. There were photos there too, and the 2 confessions by accused number 2, namely to Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu on the 19th of June 2020. There was an Exhibit HH, and also there was an exhibit that was in a confession to the Magistrate Grunier, on the 24th of June 2020 at the Boksbeek Magistrate Court. It was labeled Exhibit JJ. And she said, you mentioned as a result of these, you started profiling persons mentioned there in the identification of those suspects. And Gininda said that that was correct. And Baloyi asked him, can you indicate what those names are and whether they have any connection with any of the accused before court? Well, Gininda said that he read the Exhibit HH first. And he said during mid-October 2014, he received a call from a friend, Mthokoziseni, who was with Mapisa. Mthokoziseni, who was with Mapisa. Mapisa was identified as accused number 4. Further down, he read that it says
that
Carlos...
Mthokoziseni was a mist. So, Mapisa being the surname.
Yes.
The Mthokoziseni,
who was with
But
Mapisa.
Nowadays, Mthokoziseni and Mapisa.
His name is actually Mthokoziseni Mapisa, is it not?
It is. We talked about it.
We did.
It was a blunder from Zungu's testimony, but it has become the truth of the day, in my opinion.
Mthokoziseni, who was with Mapisa.
Yeah, in a sense, she's with Mapisa, Mthokoziseni.
And then he said that Carlos was nearby as I could hear his voice. That name is referring to accused number 3. Then it says he decided to go to Johannesburg. I went to Fosloras Men's Hostel where he met Moses Bia, who's accused number 1, and Sfiso Zungu being accused number 5. He says Zungu is also known as Nkani, so that's accused number 5. So Zungu, who's Fiso Guhlentuli, is Fiso Zungu in Sizwe Zungu's testimony. Fiso Guhlen's Fiso.
Yeah.
Zungu and Tuli.
Yeah, we will talk about it, don't worry.
Gininda continued to read, and he said he was given a briefing and insight. Later, Carlos Buthelezi and Mapisa joined them. Gininda then said, and the deponent of this document is accused number 2. The essence is all their names are mentioned. The names have been
Even
repeated.
If Fisogutle, it's fine. All their names are mentioned.
They are mentioned. The names have been
Guys,
repeated.
let's like the video. Let's like the video. It's 394 people, 189. Please press that like button. Ngamsile zinsizwa yama ngamsile zinsizwa ziyambanza kumete. Hey madoda. Zinsizwa ziyambanza kumete. Yes, you got us. We are live today. These are the times. I just wanted to tell you that. Ngasengizwe igama lakho ke. Zinsizwa ziyambanza. Yes.
Yes, I will continue drinking the concoction.
Yes.
It's helping. Well, Gininda also read accused number 2 to support, and he said, I used to work in Carltonville in 2014. I received a call from Sfiso Ntuli. His name was linked to accused number 5. Accused number 2 also referred to accused number 5 with a different name as well on his confession. He called him Sfiso as well, but at least the surname was Ntuli. Gininda then said also in the exhibit the names are repeated of accused number 1, 4, and 5 are mentioned as the core perpetrators, my lord, and that's what gave rise to the profile in terms of identifying these individuals. He continued to read the names contained in Tanzi's second statement, and he said that their names are repeated, and that's why he profiled to determine who they are.
Yes.
So Baloyi then asked him about the bank statements of the other accused, and Gininda said that they did not manage to get the bank statements of accused number 3, but managed to get the bank statements of accused number 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So now it was time to look at the particulars on the bank statements of accused number 4. Gininda placed Mthokoziseni Zipho Zonke Maphisa on record with the ID number, cell phone number ending with 3801, and as well as the address. He said that they were given to the bank on the 31st of August 2015? And Baloyi then said, you mentioned the bank statement of accused number 5 was also obtained. Gininda said yes. He went on to give the personal details as well of the bank details of accused number 5. Baloyi said he wanted to show Gininda the exhibit EE6, which were net bank statements.
Yeah.
Gininda placed Fisoguhle Ntuli's details on record, which was his ID, address, and cell phone number ending with 9202. So Baloyi turned to the evidence of the state witness from the RTMC who testified about infringement notices that were given to accused number 5. And Baloyi said, when testifying, you referred to the evidence of Matlo of RTMC and his affidavit and the 2 infringement notices issued to him. And Gininda said, yes, accused number 5.
You check the emphasis on that. The main emphasis is actually with regards to silver gray polo, which, yes, this one is, silver polo. This one is gray though.
Gray. It's gray.
But this is not by mistake that we are being introduced to these tickets or infringements by so-called Fisoguhle. It is that color will change. Don't worry. It does eventually change. It becomes what it is.
So Baloyi then said paragraph A and K, the infringement notice is there. Gininda mentioned Juli's cell phone number, Benoni address as well, and the date for the infringement was the 2016-0209. That's the first one. The second one was 2016-0320. And he said Ntuli was driving a gray VW Polo. So this infringement, the first one was on February the 9th, and the second one was on the 20th of March, and it's in 1 year, 2016.
Yeah.
And he said Ntuli was driving a gray VW Polo. Gininda then said the address given is Wattville, Benoni. And he said that if they go back to Capitec statement, Gininda said that it's in Ntuli and the address was listed as Nongoma, KZN. And the ABSA bank statement, the address was Whiteville, Benoni.
Let me tell you why I don't believe these bank statements.
Why?
When Gininda is asked to read an account holder, this is how he reads it. It's Sifisokuhle Ntuli. Which bank would get the name wrong? None. Because they use your ID and all those things.
So he said Sifisokuhle.
Yes, I was right. I was listening to that. Even with ABSA. With ABSA, it's even funny because he first started with F Ntuli, which is Fisokuhle Ntuli. And then he says account holder, it says Sifisokuhle Ntuli. You see, that's Fisokuhle. That comes back from Zungu's testimony. Sfiso. I think even Ntanzi's testimony
says Sfiso.
It's common. This Sfiso. It's common, very
he's
common.
Asked to
so
read it,
the author of these documents, one can argue, is one person. There is no way Ntanzi knows, if Ntanzi, as they claim, he says he knows Fisokuhle Ntuli, he would get this Sifiso wrong. Because we know Sfiso and Fisokuhle Ntuli. It's totally two different things. Names. Yes.
He wouldn't have got it.
You wouldn't
wrong.
butcher someone's name to that point. Only people who are non-Zulu would do that.
For people that you say they knew each other from Nongoma.
So that's Fisokuhle.
It's kind of like...
Because I was waiting for it, I thought maybe it's another name. The initials for Fisokuhle, it's one initial, F Ntuli. Because a bank would not write one initial and leave the other one. They would write all your initial. So it's Effentool. Absa wrote Effentool. So there's one author, in my opinion, with regards to these statements. One author, even with Ntanzi's statement, because he cannot, as they claim that he says he knows these people, he cannot then butcher the name of a person that they know. Sifiso Kuhle. And that mistake, you know why it's even fun?
Why?
Ntanzi's statements were written by who was it?
Ntanzi's one was with Magistrate Grunier
And who?
and Colonel Rapad.
So all those people, they got the name wrong of Fisoguhl. To Fisoguhl. And then Zungu naye got the name wrong. Now the bank statement is also getting the name wrong.
Highly unlikely for the bank to do that.
Icon.
Highly unlikely.
Icon.
They have the ID when they enter such. So when you create an account, your ID.
Yes, there is no way they would open an account for you without an ID. There is no way. Absolutely no way.
So what an interesting mistake.
Very interesting. That drills down to everything that comes about the name of Fisoguhl. First, it was a surname that was swiped. All of a sudden, it was corrected after being questioned. Now, the name Sifisoguhl is coming up.
Sfisoguhl.
Icon.
So, Baloyi now turned to the testimony of Colonel Steyn, who testified twice in this case.
Who testified once and defended her testimony later.
And then he
His
came back to
testimony
defend
later,
his testimony. Yes.
Let's just put it like that.
Yeah. So Baloyi then said, in these proceedings, Steyn testified twice. Is he in active service? Gininda said no. Did he play a role in this investigation? Gininda said he is a cell phone analyst and he's the one who asked him to assist. Gininda then said the primary task at that stage, because they didn't have Section 205, so they wanted to see if they were linked and whether they knew each other. Furthermore, he said he also gave him cell phone data in the docket of all the people inside the house. He said that his request to him firstly was to authenticate the data. He said he wanted him to authenticate the data that he gave him and then he can work on it. The report that he got, it was authenticated and that there was a link between the accused. And in his report was that there was a link between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. That's the role that he played before his retirement. So Baloyi then asked him, if you say he found a link between the accused, what do you mean? Gininda said the report in summary was that he could establish a link between the accused, that they are communicating with each other and that they know each other. Then Gininda said the essence of the report was that there's a link between the accused, and he deposed that in the form of a statement. In addition, he said, I also asked him to analyze the downloads of the cell phone seized from accused number 3 in 2015, and that was in addition to Sergeant Mabasa, who was working on it. Then Baloyi asked him what were those instances when there were contact between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. Notice how the state prosecutor advocate George Baloyi decides to stay on this connection with Kelly Khumalo.
Yeah, even though we know that there was no WhatsApp or even BBM
WhatsApp call or BBM call, none of that. But he's staying on it like it's something that is there, you know. So Gininda then said the first date was the 2nd of August 2014 and the 15th of October 2015. This should serve also as a notice to Lorraine that this is what it's looking like. Your sister there is the one who is the source.
The source of all this.
Yeah. So Gininda then said, just to
according
go back,
to what we are hearing, alleged.
And you helped to initiate that direction. remember that with your testimony. So Gininda then said, just to go back, the previous investigator seized the cell phones of those who were in the house, seized and handed over to Captain Mushwana. The downloads were done at that time, stored until they came on board and analyzed them. So what he was trying to say is that the downloads were done in 2014 after the incident and before they took over. So Baloy asked him which were those occasions where there was contact between accused number 5 and Miss Kelly Khumalo. He said, no, they're just staying there. He's staying. So Gininda then said the first date was the 2nd of August 2014 and the second date was the 15th of October. That is his recollection of the report that Colonel Steyn gave him. Asked what format was the downloaded data stored in, Gininda said that he doesn't have the expertise. For the first time, there's something he doesn't have expertise in. There's something that he couldn't testify on behalf of. So he said he doesn't have the expertise, so he would rather not say, and he doesn't want to venture into that. But what he knows is that when they received the docket, it was in a CD, a disc format. He said he asked Steyn to authenticate, and he used his means with Steyn and found the data that was corresponding with what was contained in the docket.
Yes.
Same with the Section 205s. He said that they were in the disc and he told him to authenticate them. So he's literally now distancing himself.
Yes, this is where we say
from
a hand between us is enough.
I love what's happening. You guys don't understand.
I'm telling you.
You guys don't understand.
You are on your own here. Even those who thought they were done, I'm telling you, they are not.
He's saying, I don't want to speak on the processes of how Colonel Steyn did the authenticating process because I was not there. He was the one working on it on his own. I don't even understand what he did to get to what he got to. So he's distancing himself from that whole process of turning a PDF that was from Vodacom into an Excel worksheet. He's saying, I don't know how Steyn works. I can't speak on that. I have no expertise on that. I don't know what he did, but he came back telling me that there was a connection between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5.
Subsequently to that, my lord, then we initiated the investigation. Furthermore, my lord,
every man for himself.
Furthermore, my lord, there were analyses done on the downloads of accused number 3.
So Baloy then said, what happened when Lieutenant Colonel Steyn went on retirement? Gininda said just before he went on retirement, close to those months, he went and requested Lieutenant Colonel Hose to assist. At the time, he said he didn't know that what was pressing the analysis of the cell phones related to accused number 2 and number 1. That was the pressing issue, but he ended up inheriting the entire data and the whole thing that Colonel Steyn did.
Now you see why there was a player that came on in behalf of, and we called it. We did say that somehow someone has been thrown under the bus again. In my opinion, it feels like that. So the guy who came after Steyn to finish up, sort of start afresh the work from Steyn, it would justify that to say that it's because the work done was looking shady. You know, it looks shady, my lad.
Hey, yeah, and interesting how Hose also fell flat because he couldn't explain some of the things, and he's like, no, they were not done by me. So Baloy asked him what role did he play, and Gininda said host played the same role that Steyn was playing. It was related to accused number 2 and number 1 to see if there was a link with the other accused. And he said that the 205s that both analysts were working on in 2019 or 2018, so it was out of the period of the incident when it happened in 2014, and they could not get those records at the time when they took over. What was important to collaborate this document was the relationship, as he said, because names were mentioned, and one wanted to know that do these people know each other? Is there a link, as they are mentioned, to say that this one is calling that one? That discussion and so forth had to be established. So Gininda said that he did not apply for Section 205 of these accused of 2014. He could not get it because the window period of 3 years had lapsed. So they had to work with what they had. They could go as far back as 2018 or 2015, and the closest was brought by Pinky Faintilengem when she was testifying. He said that it was for the first time that he heard of it, the data of accused number 3. And he said that the one that he had did not cover the period of the 26th of October 2014.
Do you see why that is being said?
No.
Okay. I got a pattern where you say things here. Things like if Kelly called accused number 3 as Ntanzi said it, then the investigation should have started there. Now there is an answer to say that I never saw that before investigation, upon the progress of the investigation. So I saw it just when Pinky was testifying. But there is a statement, and that statement that was allegedly Tanzi confessing. Now the problem is that yes, he could have confessed. Yes, he could have said that. I couldn't investigate that because I didn't know that accused number 3 had Section 205 dating back to 2014. You understand that much? Ujesiwati.
Yes, Andy. So tomorrow, Advocate Baloy said he will be starting with the section of Ms. Pinky Faintilengem's evidence in the morning. Today, actually, today.
Ujesiwati.
Sure. This is the most interesting testimony ever. Today was very interesting.
Yeah, guys, you can just call. Make it a minute, though. Maybe 3-4 people, then we go. If you have something to say or something to add. While I'm doing that, I'm going to just shout out to people and say thank you all for being here. Tembelani Kanye, Zozo Mahlang, Tulitus, Mazet, D1717, Sekhamezi, Achi Macheka, Zozo, okay, I've mentioned you, Kolani Jr., Mkalipi, Boitumelo, MT Darwin, Gaby, our member, Denny, Mujalifa, let's go, Tandega Zondi, Simpiwe Ingwane, Tulitus, our moderator, Valentin Zulu, Laura, our member, Toby, Nomtebo Kamile Langamandla, just going down, Sfiso Sindani, our member, thank you very much for keeping the light. Please like the video, guys. Call and love, thank you. Regular, Mbuso Zibula, Lindiwe, just going down, Tingani, Kensani Mtembu, Samuel Radebe, Sen Zero, Buchat, okay, right, Goodwin, Kautumba, let's see, who haven't I mentioned? General Dube, Sizwe, 18, and thank you again for your generous offer, generous gift. Michael Manuel, Sabelo Zake, Tami Kuzwayo, Lucia Mafu, yes, Lucia Mafu, Bones, and then Chireleto Mofolo, Ignatia. Yes, we have a caller. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Ninjani?
Siyaphila njani?
Ngiyaphila nami. Yes, Izolo. I think yesterday you guys were like, I think you only took like 1 or 2 calls, ne? Izolo.
Yes.
Yeah. There's something that Emily said that really had me thinking in the bank statements.
Okay.
Like I was just wondering to myself, did they ever establish ukuthi Untanzi took out a loan, Capitec, like let's just specifically focus on Capitec because since that's the person that came to court, did they ever establish ukuthi kune loan applied? Like did they get that yes or no confirmation?
No, we haven't got that, but it seems as if they are denouncing that in terms insofar as the state is concerned.
Which is weird, because the first process is to establish ukuthi, did this person apply for a loan? Yes.
Even his salon is not there.
Because if they never applied for a loan, it means there wasn't any expectation of money as he claims. Or yes, he did apply for a loan. Was he approved? Was he not approved? What was the waiting process? What was the amount? When was it expected? It's just so weird how they say Wuti, there wasn't any money in his accounts or whatever on that particular day for Amalobola. You know what I'm saying? Whereas they haven't even established whether or not he applied for a loan to begin with, you know?
Yes.
So that was a huge inconsistency that I noticed. I'm like, I wonder why maybe let's say the defense team hasn't poked holes on that, because I think that's quite important.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It definitely is.
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
For
Thank you very
sharing
much.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it. Hey, but yeah, that's
Right. Yeah, cool.
something to look at.
Yeah, it's something to look at indeed. Nomaswazi Maria, Zozo Mahlangu, I think I've mentioned you. Blessings, Tol. Lindy, thank you very much again for your gift.
Thank you, Lindy.
Thank
May
you.
God continue to bless
you guys.
May you never lack. May your
Mamelo
pockets never run
Skunana.
dry.
Tembelan Kanya, I've mentioned you. And just going down to, most people. Masiabelo. Hey, your name, I have to read it silently before I pronounce it. Lindy Lamini. Lindy Lamini. Laura, I've mentioned you. Marcus. Pitson. Blessings, I've mentioned you. Miss Mbali. Miss Mbali, thank you for being with us. Mambush, thank you for being with us here. Ndazi, thank you very much for being with us. Sindiso Makwaza, I think. Could be Makwizi, but I'm thinking it's Makwaza. I don't know. JJ, we see you. Busiso Ndlovu, we see you. Gajane, Buyabenyat, Bus Gumede, we see you. Tapelo M or member, we see you. Rebecca, we see you. Queen of South Africa, we see you. Hey, my daughter. Hey. So Sinkulumo. Unda, we see you. Pumlani Mahaya, we see you. Dave Chid, we see you. Poram Mkwani, we see you. Tebile Damini, we see you. Kolan Ngube, Sivin Tebile Damini, yeah. We see you. Gwelagiti, we see you. Jim Woodley, we see you. Emily, am I missing Andiswa Danzi? We see you. Am I missing anyone? Because my mind and everything tells me. Raul, we see you. Jennifer, Uzwayo, we see you. Mulilo, we see you. Yeah. Am I missing anyone? Is there anyone? Sia Skulu, we see you. Nkosi Mkho, we see you. Boto, we see you. Anyone I'm missing? Anyone? Forgive next, we see you. Tumi Modise, we see you. Let me see who I missed. No, I didn't miss anyone. Siam Sia, we see you. B, we see you. More dollars, we see you. Yeah. That's it. That's it, guys. Jim James, we see you. Nako, Geval, please like the video. As you Tandai Chumandararwa. Yes. Tandai is in the house. Yes, Tandai. We see you. Chuku Ana, we see you. Yes. Moitubelo, we mentioned you. Yeah. Guys, please, on your way out, Lindy Lamini, we see you.
When is this Gilinda finishing? Guys, I don't know.
Lucky Gumede, we see you.
I don't know when is Gilinda finishing to testify. We are still in his evidence in chief, and it looks like it might take quite a while. They are not even halfway of everything that he has done with the case.
We see
still
you.
A long way to go.
Begazela nje wena mayemo fatsi wena nje begazela will keep you.
There's a lot of collaborations that
Lungis Jonas, yeah, there's a lot of, because it's talking about other people's testimony. Yeah, so begazela.
He still has to enter many other things. Kinda what's left. He said he will go back. He was stopped yesterday. He wanted to go deep into the what was it? Webalo was stopping him and he said, no, we'll do that later. There's many aspects that he has to go through. There's a lot that he hasn't covered. So maybe 2 more days, estimation, or 3. Might be 3.
Yeah, give him.
Let's give
it
him
was
time.
Supposed to be Monday. Good evening, guys. Just to give
time.
people a heads up, bank statement can be edited or created from the scratch. Most fraudsters in Central JHB do those things. That's Johannesburg, and use them for loan application or cell phone contract applications. I won't be surprised if the statements in court are fake. And lastly, no one from the bank will come. That is another reason, yes, why they gave out CBS ID with conditions. If they can pull the statement from the internet banking or get an order to give the defense the power to pull the statements, the country will be in shock. Dublin. All the way from Dublin. Yes.
I don't know what way that can happen, because it looks like
the accounts are closed, so you would need to go inside to get that. I think that's my thinking, because they were saying some of those accounts are closed, and probably the ones that were active when they went to Jasmine 4 years now, they are closed.
But so the data is still there.
The data is definitely there. They have to keep the data, but
yeah, no, what I want to know in South African law and stuff, like if I am representing a client and I really want this bank statement, I'm not allowed to go and subpoena it. It must be subpoenaed by the state.
No, you can. I think you can. You can find another way. If your client can give you a way of doing it, like the...
Because what baffles me is the fact that Ramosipili had to ask for Baloyi to do it. If it was
the right
to
thing
Baloyi,
to do, because they produced them.
If it was according to Baloyi, he wouldn't even be presenting it, because he wanted to present what favors his case with regards to the bank, like he's doing now.
Oh, they can go always verify on their own, guys. They must do their job. I know that they have scarce resources, but they need to
Then you should go to those
shoot,
banks.
from all the cylinders.
Especially in Tanzi, that Capitec, yeah, is something fishy there. I don't want to lie and pretend like, hey, but there's something fishy. Where is his salary? Where is the buying of the groceries? He was taking leave. He was going home. You're telling me he spent nothing going.
Yeah, guys,
on
no.
leave.
Ngiyayvala la.
No. Something's not right there. So, yeah, let's close it, guys. We'll talk again later today. Hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's morning. Please like the video on your way out. Share the video. Subscribe. Become a member. Thank you again. Thank you very much to everyone who's making this possible.